Welcome back to the Battery Podcast. I'm Aidan,
And I'm Casey.
and we are excited to recap what I think we can both agree was the Cannons' best game, best win of the year. Maybe the exception of that week one game against the Atlas, but honestly, that was so long ago. It was the second night of the back-to-back. Um, this one because of everything it meant for the standings, for playoff implications, for getting off a losing streak, the family ties. I think, yeah, the most important game, up until next week, and the most satisfying. Casey, what are your kind of initial thoughts?
Agree with everything that you said. I also really feel like, I mean, this is our cannons,
Yeah,
you know? We were strong, we communicated better. Nulting, I mean, that's the nulting we've been wanting to see all year,
sure it
um,
is.
all season. He got 3 goals, and an assist in the game. I Yeah, I mean, when the game ended, I was just like, I feel really good about next weekend. I already felt great because I'm so excited. Our weekend's finally here. But yeah, I just think we saw a different team.
For sure.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Yeah, they did everything right to the degree that we know they're capable of, and in the style that this team likes to play. I mean, you saw it. Um, at that very first possession that the Waterdogs had, when Sowers, he's clearly looking to pass. So Colin takes that great opportunity to come and play him physical, right? Like Sowers is probably the smallest guy out there, knocks him down, and then he and Kirsten Courier, that is, get a 1 minute unsportsmanlike or unnecessary roughness or something penalty for going off. And then Grant lays out Jake Taylor the next possession or the one after that. Um, yeah, the Cans let their physical presence be known early. I think it
mhm,
helped physically knock the Water Dogs off their game. I think they didn't let Sowers be a feeder. They didn't let Jake Taylor just water bug around the inside and catch everything and score. And then the offensive end, like you mentioned too, Nolting, fine. Like it's like he recognized finally how teams were playing him, that he would have a one-on-one matchup, and he took it to the rack, and it was so good to see.
yeah,
Um, and
yeah,
I mean, this is I think it got a little bit buried by obviously the curse story. CJ is he was certainly the most productive water dog, 6 points, 5 goals, and an assist. But the big story from the Cannons side specifically, we saw Mackesy and Manny on the field for
yeah,
the first time, and wow, did it go well.
yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I absolutely loved to see. I was excited when I saw both of them in the lineup. Wasn't sure exactly what that would look like and how that would play out. But it played out very well, and I am super happy that coach made that decision. I think he made a comment in the press conference where he was just something about how he was just like happy and relieved that the players were open and willing to give it a try. And I feel like, you have a vet and a rookie, right? And like it was really cool, not to say that it was like a changing of the guard, right? But if you look at the time that Manny has had in the league and now we have Maxi coming in, it's just really cool to see like what this can transition into and what Maxi can really learn from Manny and then take on for his career. I don't know. That was just like a piece that I kind of thought of off the top of my head.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think, Mackesy, younger legs, probably a little bit more energy, probably a little quicker or something. But Will Manny just has so much experience doing all the other stuff off ball, where I think Mackesy has been more of an on-ball player in his time in college, and it's tough to make that transition from having the ball in your stick and dodging to being the guy to find that open space so that when Nolting or Campbell or Drenner are dodging, then you can, be the open guy in the backside where like they dodge, they kick it to X, they kick it back up to you, you score. Like it's a different role. And obviously we see guys like Jake Taylor and Xander Dixon who have done it really, really well at the college to pro level, but to make that switch is hard. So um I think the Manny coming back into the lineup was great. Um, and yeah, if Calder Maxey winds up having a career similar to Will Manny's, then I think Cannon fans will be very happy. Hopefully, he doesn't get traded to New York in his prime, like happened to Will. But we're not even going to think about that. Uh, but yeah, the two of them, like they played off each other so well in that first half.
Yeah.
Um, let me see. So the Cannons' third goal of the game, which made it a 4-1 because we had the two-pointer before that, was Manny from McAsee. Then after that, you had a goal by McAsee. And then in the second quarter, you had Manny assist the two-point goal from Ramsey. You had another goal from McAsee assisted by Nolting. And then you had the unassisted goal. Like they were just so involved early. It was so like everything was finally clicking the way that it should have been clicking this whole year. And
Yeah.
I think they took their foot off the gas in the fourth quarter because they were up by 7. So like I can't fault them necessarily for thinking we're not going to take risks. We're going to use the whole shot clock. We're going to manage and get to the end. I wish they'd scored a few more goals because that would have helped them put them ahead of the Dogs and score differential. But they got the win. They did everything right. I mean, the other area we got to talk about too is Colin Kirst.
Yes, Kirsty.
Yes,
Wow.
yeah, his best game of the year, I by a lot.
And
Um,
wasn't it? So he had 20 saves
yep,
total. And I think he was like 66 or
67 because it was 10
60%.
goals allowed, 20 saves.
Yeah. Um, I thought that I had heard that that was like his career high, but I don't know.
I believe it is. Yeah, I mean, 20 saves is a lot to get to. I know
Yeah.
the previous like PLL record was 21, which Blaze broke earlier this year. So. Yeah, I don't think Colin had gotten into the 20s yet, or maybe even the upper teens. I don't know what his high was before this. But
Maybe he needs to stop wearing those sweatpants and just wear shorts from now on.
yeah, I mean maybe that was I mean, we saw
That has
some
something to do with it.
yeah, we saw some other people change up the mojo. I think the two most glaring examples, or the big one was in that Waterdogs game, which we'll talk about that fashion choice when we get there.
Hmm.
But yeah, you just got to change up the energy sometimes when you're on a losing streak. It does look odd to me now to see a goalie wearing the team shorts instead of the sweatpants because it's like the standard at definitely at the pros and the college level. But yeah, I mean, can't argue with the magic.
Yeah.
Maybe it rubbed off from meeting Jordan Burke a couple weeks ago because I know Burke was always a guy who would wear the shorts. Um,
And what a great time it was to see them.
yeah,
Yeah, that was really great. And also to see so many people show up there too.
yeah.
Couple hundred people, I think it was, or 150, something like that.
Yeah, I don't think we had a podcast since that happened, but
Oh,
yeah, hopefully, because yeah, 'cause it was the Cannons bye week. Hopefully, everyone listening to this was there when Asher and Colin and Charlotte North came to the Dick's Sporting Goods in Medford. Yeah, it was like 150, 200 something people, which happened to include Jordan Burke and his kids who were there getting cleats, and that was a really cool moment to see them say hello to each other.
yeah.
Um, yeah. Two number fives, two legendary goalie number fives. Hopefully, they're each going to be championship winning goalies as well. I mean, obviously, we got the champ series, but want to win that one in September.
Yeah.
Um, let's see, what other notes did I have for this? Um,
Marcus Holman.
yep, sole possession of second place all
Yeah.
time.
Passing
Uh,
Paul
s-
Rabel.
yep, so
Incredible.
he's
Congratulations to him.
for sure. Yeah, he's now it was 393, so it's 37 behind. John Grant Jr. for first. So don't think he's getting there this year. He might not get there next year either, but I mean, if he wants to keep playing, I think as long as his dad's the coach, he'll have a spot on the roster. And obviously, you mean you can't take away his talent as a goal scorer because he had just the one goal.
Mm.
Yeah, one goal, well, a two-pointer and then and one assist. So, um, I mean, I'll take the up and down the lineup contributions, right? We had Knowlton and Manny with 4 points, McAsee, Campbell, Holman with three, Ramsey, first career two-pointer for him, and
Mhm.
then Drenner and Connor Kirst with a goal each. That was I'm feeling like what the commentators are saying, having three Kirsts out there, it's tough to
Right.
distinguish on
You
the
just
fly
say
who
their
you're
first
talking to.
names.
Yeah. If we're talking about scoring a goal, though, it's probably not Colin.
No.
Uh,
Well, I'd love to see it, but no.
yeah, yeah, that's not his game. I think going to hit Sowers is probably as far out of the net as he really wants to go. Um,
We should touch on just briefly. I think Tucci had a little bit better of a performance this time, just a little bit.
yeah, yeah, I was pleasantly surprised when I looked at the final stat sheet. Um, that it was that he and Stathakis were both above 50%. I think the fact that each of them had two violations. So Tucci went 2-0 against, I think it was Courier, and then Stathakis went 2-0 against, I think it was Connor Kirst and Goodrich. So that pads the numbers a little bit, but he was basically 50% against Stathakis, who and Stathakis had had a career revival type of year. So I think that's definitely uh, a pleasant, like a good win for Tucci. He did take another penalty though. He had a pretty needless whack on Sowers that led to it didn't lead to a goal. We looked that up. Um, but still, just totally unnecessary. You know, just a minute. You're making your defense work a little harder, making Colin have to make a save. It's obviously a minute you're not on offense and can try to score. But I mean, he was at 50%. He wasn't. I think he still has some good wins. I'm trying to look and see if I can. Uh, I want to see because it felt like one team took over kind of in the fourth, but I don't remember which direction. I wish that. I mean that is a pretty advanced level stat thing that I would get. They don't have out live. But yeah, I think it was pretty back and forth um, for the whole game, and yeah, I'll take above 50% if he's right in
Yeah.
that range, especially as long as we have that 32 shot clock after face-off win. Yeah, let's see. I think honestly, I think the only other thing I wanted to just shout out was again just how well the defense did. That they had a plan, they stuck to it. I was so happy to see now the fact that he left for a bit early after taking that hit from one Grant. Jake Taylor wasn't out there as much and wasn't out there as an attackman, so he did. But even I think even before that, he was getting a short stick, which thank goodness, because then I know Young was really pressing out on CJ Kirst to try to deny him. Um, Keelty did a fantastic job on Sowers. Let me look up. I mean, 4 points from Sowers, but three goals and an assist. I think the issues with that really came when Sowers became a passer. He was what, 2 goals, 5 assists, I think, in the first game.
Mm.
So I'll take that reversal. Because when the Dogs were struggling so much last year, it was Sowers and McCardle and no one else. So if we can, yeah, hypothetically, if we were to play them in the first round of the Eastern Conference playoffs in a couple weeks, I think if that's the recipe for success. Hopefully, that's what New York does to them, because that definitely helps Boston's playoff chances if Philly loses to New York this coming week.
Which I have a feeling that they might, but CJ's quickly getting back in the mix of things, so we'll see.
Yeah, I as well. It's not a game that New York necessarily needs.
Right.
Um, because their score differential, I believe, is plus 14 or plus 16, and Boston is -2. So yes, if Boston wins both their games and New York loses, Boston could theoretically be the one seed. But for what a 16 or even or 18 goal swing to happen in one weekend would be, I mean, I think New York will know after the California game if they need to be worried about that or not.
Yeah.
Let me get do you have the standings up officially? Do you know the what's is it 16 for New York as their goal differential?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And yeah, Philly's -2 and we're three. Negative
-3.
three.
Yeah,
And
so a 19 goal, 20 goal swing. So basically if Boston doesn't win by like at least 8 or 9 over California, I think New York can rest easy.
yeah.
Hopefully, hopefully they have to be worried, but
Mhm.
I think that would be a lot. And you never know. Like California won their last game, or no, Philly won their last game of the year against New York when New York didn't have anything to play for. Out in it was Utah, I think that ended the game this season last year. Yeah, I mean, we'll talk about them in a sec. I wouldn't put it past New York to lose a game that to an inferior opponent,
Mhm.
but yeah, but basically Boston just needs to take care of its own business, which I guess you want to recap um, some of these other games quickly, and then
Yeah.
we'll tease the final weekend of the season in a bit. Where do you want to start for the other games this past weekend?
Let's talk about Chaos and Outlaws.
Yeah,
I,
man,
I
big
was
chaos.
I was so happy to see the Outlaws lose like that.
Are you an Outlaws hater because of?
So I'm not an Outlaws hater.
Okay,
I'll start with that. And shout out to the Rough Riders. We love them.
yeah, they had a
Um,
blast.
yes,
Love
yeah,
seeing them on the broadcast.
yes. Um, but I mean, I'm always rooting for an underdog. And the Outlaws are just like they're hot
Yeah,
right now, you know? They have been for a while. So to see Chaos that have really struggled and then they have been making their way back, and getting some wins in there, but just to see them beat the hottest team by 1 point.
yeah. Yeah, it was good. It was cool to see the streak finally end. So that was that was the Outlaws' first loss since they put McNaney in. Obviously, I wish it had come a week earlier when the Cannons played them. Arguably, it should have. They still should be playing overtime because Bernhardt's foot was clearly in the crease, but we'll let that go. Uh,
I'm
yeah,
not ready to let it go yet, but I will.
yeah,
I won't go off about it.
yeah. I'm sure we'll let the refs hear it in Harvard this weekend. Um,
There we go.
yeah. It it's really cool to see what the Chaos have done. I think we all were writing them off. I mean, they lose 20-6, and you're like, this team is dead. Um,
Yeah.
and similar to McNaney coming into the lineup for the Outlaws, Owen Helt's coming into the lineup for the Chaos.
Yeah.
They've done a lot. Let's see. He finished 3 goals, 1 assist. I mean, you can't, he's not physically imposing the same way that Brendan O'Neill is, but he just needs so little space. And it's like, this is his lowest shooting percentage. I think he went 3 for 10. But like every time he has the ball, I feel like it's going to go in because of how he started. So yeah, really cool. I would not at all be surprised to see the Chaos win a playoff game or even to see them in the finals.
Hmm.
They they are scary.
And
Um,
yeah,
and
yeah.
yeah, the yeah, I looking at it now, I'm surprised Blaze didn't have a better game than like a 9 saves below 50%, 47.4.
Yeah.
Um, but that just goes to show you how staunch the defense is. Like they just did not give up many shots.
Hmm.
And the 2 pointers as well. Chaos got two from Knobloch and Iker's first career 2 pointer versus one for the Outlaws. Ultimately made the difference, right? Uh,
Hmm.
would have been tied without it. Um, Chaos actually won the face-off battle. Um,
Yeah.
I mean,
I was a
they,
little surprised. I thought that Weirman would have maybe had a little bit higher percentage there.
yeah, I think he was the biggest fantasy point scorer this week. I'd seen that. It was not a yeah, Weirman in game one was the biggest fantasy scorer at 39 points. Oh, I think because he scored. He had a
Mm,
cause no, he had a cause turnover. He had three cause turnovers. So it's not from his actual performance at the faceoff dot. And then in against New York the next day, he had a goal and a cause turnover. And we'll talk about Trevor Baptiste when we get to that game, but man, does he not look like the Trevor Baptiste we know?
had him
Um,
on my fantasy lineup.
I did too. Yeah, let's just go there. So
All right,
after,
yeah.
yeah, they lose game one in, I think, a pretty big upset. And then to go from playing Friday at 8 to Wednesday to Saturday at 1, really, I mean, 6 to 11 a.m. because
That's
they're,
a tough turnaround.
yeah, I had been booking that as an automatic loss the same way I did with Maryland, but both teams surprised. Like that Maryland game was the 20-6 win over the Chaos. Um, and this obviously a much tougher task, but the Atlas below another one. They're up 9-4 at halftime. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, 9-4. And gave up the lead, tie it late, and then this was, I think, it may be the most overtime they played. I don't remember exactly how late it went that semifinal game against Maryland in the playoffs last year. I know it was more than half the quarter, and this one, Bernhardt scores with 5:17 left, so they played 6:43. Um, yeah, huge win, gutsy win, clinches the one seed for Denver. New York again, still probably going to be the one seed, but does have to have to win and then work on win or line goal differential. Um, but it's still they're still in pretty good shape. But yeah, Trevor Baptiste. Okay, again, his stats were better than I thought they were watching the game, but
Right.
he was only 50% and Weirman was one over.
Yeah.
But he just like I don't know if he's still hurt. He's not old. I mean, I think he's not 30 yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um,
Close, but not there, I don't think.
yeah,
28,
maybe
29, maybe?
yeah, I think we might be the same age because I believe his rookie year was also the year I graduated college. Um, so I don't know. I hope he figures it out for the Atlas's sake. Unless the Cannons have to play them in the playoffs.
Right. I feel like, I mean, I'd have to fact check myself here, but I feel like this season has been like pretty up and down.
Yeah.
Seems like whenever I have him in my fantasy lineup, he throws the game. No. It never works out well for me. But then when I don't, I mean, he does great. It's the Trevor that we know. So
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, TD really worked him in Fairfield a couple weeks ago.
true.
Nardella worked him. Nardella worked him both times. The first game against the Whips, he was 14 of 30, which is 46.7. And then last weekend, he was 7 of 22, which is 31.8%. And then yeah, he was right at 50 against the Outlaws, and he was also yeah, 39% against TD and 52 against Stathicus. So not bad, but is 56.8 for the year, which is I mean,
Yeah.
I would have been shocked seeing Trevor at anything below like 62, 63. Um, and certainly not to get outmatched like he did. I mean, if TD had been able to play that whole game against the Alice, who knows
Yeah.
how might have changed the actual result of the game. But yeah, I hope he's healthy.
Mhm.
And that's the most important thing. Because he's definitely one of the easier guys to root for. Especially for how good he is.
Mhm.
And playing for a rival.
Yeah. Yeah, I was gonna say, even though he's on New York, but
Yeah. If the Eastern Conference Championship is Boston versus New York, I'll certainly hope he has that off day.
Oh, absolutely, 1000%.
Yeah, and doesn't go 19 for 27 again like he did when the Cannons played New York the first time. Um, all right, and then that just leaves us with one other game to talk about. The game that I think we as Cannons fans were certainly most invested in the result of. California takes down Maryland 14-13. This is another one of those like whatever the result, whatever team's ahead of the game going into the fourth quarter in a game involving the Woods, that's the team that's going to lose. Um, Down by three entering the fourth, they score the only four goal. They score four goals in the fourth quarter. Whips don't score at all. Malloy with 41 seconds left takes the first lead of the game for California, and Maryland is now 3-6. So, um, I believe if the Cannons win either of their games in homecoming, they clinch the playoffs, and then it would just depend on the result of the Philly game to see if Phillies or Maryland is out. Uh,
Mhm.
so Maryland, yeah, I guess Maryland can't be eliminated before the Cannons and Whipsnakes play because if Philly loses, but I think they could be eliminated by the time. Yeah, sorry, they could be eliminated by the time. They can't be eliminated on Friday, but if the Cannons win and then Philly wins at the first game Saturday, Maryland would be out. And then that game would be, I guess, just for the Cannons to try to go to Champ Series. Um,
Which I would love to see them at Champ Series again, but also I just really want them to have a better or more time to heal and recover.
yeah, yeah, it feels like Holman was not quite, sorry, Holman, I don't know, but Campbell was not quite healthy to start the year. Fairmont we haven't seen all year. Um, I
Yeah.
and
Any update or any idea of how he's doing?
No, I got nothing. I checked the injury report before the games this past weekend and saw he was on IR with labrum injury, which is all we knew about. But I mean, I guess if he didn't, I don't think he even went to training camp. I can't remember that. But if he like if the injury had predated that, then I don't know if he only got surgery like right around that time, if he was trying to muscle through it or whatever, then that recovery time, if it's more than like 12 weeks, then you figure you're not changing anything up.
Yeah.
Um, and trainer too. Like I'm not sure if you can really recover from a meniscus tear in 3 months.
You know, I was listening to a clip of him yesterday, talking after the game and the other night. And he's just built different. Like I just couldn't stop staring at the missing tooth.
Yep.
But then, you talk about him at Champ Series and I mean, he's just built different.
Yeah.
I feel like maybe a little crazy is in there. Um, but yeah, hopefully I mean, he's definitely not like playing quite the same, but that's not to say that he's having a bad season. Um, but hopefully, however he's feeling, he's feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
he gets some rest after
Yes.
the season,
Yeah. I think,
after the championship.
yeah, I would not be surprised. I mean, yeah, we'll preview the homecoming games with Jack
Hmm.
later in the week. So we're not going to get into it too much, but I would not be surprised to see different lineups for each of those two games. I think especially if the Cannons have already clinched, because I believe they would technically clinch with a win over the Redwoods. Um, it's funny that I just realized last year when the Cannons played the Redwoods in homecoming, that same thing happened. Cannons were up going into the fourth quarter. Redwoods scored the only goals of the quarter, and I'd say embarrassed the Cannons on their home turf. Um,
That's not going to happen this time.
no, no. The only other thing I wanted to touch on about the Whips Woods game is TD was utterly dominant at the stripe, 21 of 29. Nardella goes 9 of 26, so obviously a couple of violations. And he did
That
score.
was very unusual for
Yeah.
Narcola.
Yeah. I mean, I would have going into this weekend, I think especially with Baptiste having another subpar game would have figured it was kind of a lock for Nardella to be face-off athlete of the year.
Mhm.
Um, and I think TD really threw his hat in the ring there. Let me see if I can look him up, see how he's done. Not that it really matters. Who wins face-off of the year? I mean, because this is a Cannons podcast, and we know it's not going to be our boy Zach Tucci. Um, yes, all right. Tucci was or TD was bad against the Waterdogs. He went 7 of 20, but every other game he's been above 55. Um, so yeah, we'll see. I mean, I would love for someone not named Baptiste or Nardella to get it. Um,
Right. Someone take the crown this year.
yeah. Uh,
Um,
yeah, we'll do the
Mal-
awards prediction stuff.
mhm.
Maybe the bye week of the playoffs. I don't know. Yeah,
Malloy and Chris Cav also had a great game.
yeah.
Malloy had 5 goals.
And Kavanaugh, I think it was 3 and 4.
Yeah, 3 goals, 4 assists.
Yeah, he and McAdory have been some of the like the most electrifying. I think the rookie of the year has got to be one of the two of them, probably Chris Kavanaugh, just because the point production for him is higher. He is playing with a vengeance. He's playing like that, like we said about getting drafted so low personally. Um, Yeah. Um, Bummer that Sam English is hurt to, you're not really seeing that full complement of what that rookie unit would be capable of.
Hmm.
But was playing well before that and yeah, Kavanaugh has just really set out with something to prove. Um,
Yeah.
and hey, if it's, I hope they lose this week, but I do hope they make the playoffs still. And as long as they don't play the Cannons in the championship game, I would love for them to get the title. They were oh so close in year one and have not been able to get back since.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Carroll on the Whips, he also, another rookie, he also had 3 goals.
Yep.
Um, Nardella scored one. I think you mentioned that already. And then Pennell got on there. He had 2 goals.
Yeah, his best game as a whip.
Yeah.
Because I
He
don't
was on my
see him.
lineup. Glad he made those 2 goals.
Yeah, he hadn't had a 2 goal game so far this season. So, and as well, I mean, I think just still worth mentioning. No Matt Rambo in for the whips. It seems his it's hard to
Mm.
say that his playing days are over, but he's not doing like I think putting him in the lineup and taking someone else out definitely makes the whips worse. And I always want to make the whips worse, so I would love for Rambo to get in there, particularly against the Cannons this week. But
Do you know how old Rambo is?
I think I think he is 30. Um, because he graduated he's 31. Yeah, born in 1994. Oh, his birthday was the 25th, so the game in Utah that he got benched for, or that he, didn't dress for.
Dang.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he doesn't, I think the last 2 seasons because he also has played in the NLL. I think the last 2 seasons he hasn't played for in the NLL.
Yeah.
And then, so I don't know. I think sometimes when you're going all year and you're also balancing like your personal life and everything, I think he got married this past year. That's like, I just think that's got to be a lot on the players, right? Like,
Yeah.
they're like, some of them, I'm like, how do you do everything that you do? You're like superhumans to me. But, um, but then I guess sometimes when you have too much time off, it's kind of like idle hands aren't always good. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you just really want to protect that like mental or physical fatigue. Like we've seen Schreiber get injured multiple years
Yeah,
in a row now. Zed Williams tore his Achilles playing in the NLL.
yeah,
Um, I am glad the Cannons don't have too many players who are like stars in both leagues. One, because I'd be worried they would just go play summer box. And
yeah,
two, because yeah, you just don't want that fatigue. And also, when they make champ series, you want to be able to send your best lineup out there.
yeah, yeah.
All right. I mean, I think that pretty much covers it. Best game of the year for the Cannons by far, really on all fronts. I know there have been games where they scored more, um, but they could have scored more if they needed to in this game. I do believe that. Um, Colin absolutely took over. Asher let the world know that he can still score. Coulter and Manny, turns out they can play really well together. Um, and Jake Taylor got knocked down on his ass where he belongs.
I think I saw that in the bye week they some of the guys were out in Utah together. Mackesy, Manny, Gittleman, and I think one other. I don't remember who the other one was, but I'd like to think that maybe like them actually getting some time together to just hang out, but then also to like play and do clinics together, they're able to just kind of like understand each other better and then see that direct correlation on the field,
Hmm.
which makes me just hopeful down the line that we will start to see players living in market. And so then they are able to have that FaceTime with each other in person and just get more time together to really play at their best.
Yeah, yeah. I hopefully that new media rights deal, which I said it was double the number of the previous one. So,
Mhm.
you hope a lot of that money is going to salaries. And if you're paying a guy what the starting salary is, 25. So if you're paying someone 50 grand a year, now granted it's only in the summer, but you start to get to that point where you can say, hey, we're practicing midweek, so you got to be there. And that'll be so pro lacrosse has been waiting for 25 years at this point.
Yeah,
It's coming.
yeah.
Yeah. All right. So we will be back on Wednesday to preview the final regular season weekend of the year, the one we've been waiting for all year, the Boston Cannons homecoming.
Yes.
We'll have the link to the supporter group section in the description of whatever platform you're using to listen to this. And it'll be in our Instagram bio as well. Um, please come one or both nights. Um, they just got to win one game to make the playoffs, and they if they win both, I think they'll mathematically be guaranteed to be in the champ series. So there's still a lot to fight for. They still got to bring their A game, but this last win over the Dogs gave us a lot to be excited about. So we will see you on Thursday to preview that game, and hopefully we'll see you Friday and Saturday out in the crowd. And until then. Go Cannons.
Go Cannons.
Boom!
Boom.